Is this from the actual score, or are you just grabbing generic Chinese music?
Yeah,
Good
you
old
racist.
kung fu music.
Oh, kung fu
Wow,
music.
I
You
was-
racist.
I was hoping so much that he actually somehow found the Kung Fu Hustle soundtrack.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I
wow,
also-
super producer Bill Neville.
I was also hoping that he just played Do the Hustle.
He could have done that too. Kung Fu Fighting could have been played.
Yep, kung fu fighting.
All things to work on for the close of the
Yeah.
show, I guess.
Yeah.
Kung fu fighting would have cost us some money.
I think anything's going to cost us money at this point.
Yeah.
Except for this generic noise.
But
Oh,
Hey.
it's picking up now.
there we go. Although it is fun because the movie we are going to talk about, Kung Fu Hustle, has a lot of these dancey sequences that would go well to that.
Yeah, it's a very, very fun and lighthearted movie.
I haven't watched this. I own the DVD. I haven't watched
Yeah.
it in so long. I forgot how much I really enjoy this movie.
Kudos to everybody that voted on the poll because this is the most accessible of all of the movies.
Okay.
Like, Kung Pao, Kung Pao's bad.
Yeah.
Ong Bak, very good,
Yeah.
but in Thai.
Okay.
And The Protector, also very good, but in Thai. So this one is just far more like loose and fun, and I'm glad that they picked this one.
The DVD has an English dub version.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, it's very nice. What I do like about it, because normally I'm when it comes to Hong Kong movies, I can be a bit of a purist.
Okay.
Where I will listen to the actual language that it was filmed in with subtitles. But this time I was doing a lot of shit. I was multitasking and stuff, so I listened to the dub version. But what I liked about even the dub version was the signs, which are all in Cantonese, I believe.
Yes.
Still subtitle what the signs say.
Yeah.
So that was a nice thing. But before we get into it, it is That Movie Show.
Yeah.
Mike Wendt, Liam Stryker.
Yeah.
And I saw it today. I don't know if it's been out for a couple days or not, but please tell me you guys saw Tommy Wiseau's Joker
God, that was
audition.
incredible.
So I haven't actually sat
What?
down and watched it yet.
Okay, go to facebook.com/thatmovieshowtv. I posted it there, and it's amazing, as you would expect.
Yeah.
He went full makeup.
Where's Batman?
Wait, he went full makeup?
Full makeup.
Where's Batman?
Oh yeah, you have to pull this up, and he does his laugh, of
Yep,
course.
yep.
Instead of a jokery laugh, it's
Funny
was
joke.
so sad.
When was this made?
It was made by Nerdist.
It seems very recent, as in like this week.
Okay. So Nerdist, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nerdist is grabbing hold of that 15 minutes that he's holding on to so tightly.
Yeah.
But yes, very funny, and I feel everybody should go to the Facebook page and watch it there. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about today.
No, I watched that later.
You'll watch that later. Bookmark that one.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about Kung Fu Hustle.
To the hustle.
It was released, let me see here, released in the U.S. April 22nd, 2005. It would cost $20 million to make, had a box office of $102 million, so they did pretty well for themselves. It was written, starring, and directed by Stephen Chow.
Yes. Of Shaolin soccer fame.
Shaolin soccer fame. And this was it was a lot of fun. It really was. It was one of those movies that, I feel it wasn't a parody at all. It was a funny. There was a lot of influence in this from a number of different places, and if you're a movie fan, you can see how much of a movie fan Stephen Chow is. It's very old school Stooges, Buster Keaton style.
Yeah, it's funny because
Looney Tunes.
This is what an action comedy looks like inside a Hong Kong kung fu movie.
Yeah, inside of an acid trip.
Yeah.
Plain and
There's
simple.
so much going on. Like, the first time I ever saw it, I was like, what is happening? I had no idea what was going on. It was very weird.
It was funny because when it came out in 2005, I was working in a movie theater. It was right before I started my radio career, and I was working in a movie theater, and this had just come out. So I was an usher. So you walk into the theater and you catch snippets of movies, and I kept walking in, and this was one I just kept standing there because I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah. For the longest time, I thought that Stephen Chow was not in the movie. Mm-hmm. Like, I thought that he was... Like, I thought that it was a different person playing Xing.
Okay.
And then Stephen Chow showed up at the end. It was very weird.
And if you watch it with soft eyes, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
2018, if you watch it with your phone,
Yeah.
You're doing 5 other things.
Right.
You might get a little confused because the man he becomes in the end isn't the guy he starts out as.
Right. Like and it's weird because it's not even like a steady journey.
No.
It's just like all of a sudden he just like emerges from a cocoon and he's just gone.
He starts out as like a pickpocket who can't catch a break. He's getting his ass whipped at every other turn.
Yeah, everybody hates him.
And then he becomes literally the Iron Man of Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Where he literally becomes the master and beats like the greatest Kung Fu guy ever.
Right.
Who I believe is called the Beast in this.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
getting
the guy
IMDb up.
that jumps around like a frog.
Yeah, exactly. He was the older guy at the end.
Right.
The Beast. But it just again, the movie starts out like right from the jump what kind of movie you're going to get.
Oh yeah.
From that opening sequence with the pseudo gangster guy and his hot girlfriend, and all of a sudden they run into the Axe Gang.
Oh yes.
The Axe Gang,
the very, very devious Axe Gang.
Oh, yeah. They are because they have pointy sideburns.
Yeah, they all
and
have
snarly mustaches.
Yeah, I also love that aesthetic of this movie where it's like it's the same thing as what was the movie IP Man?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like it's World War II era, so there's like
this takes place Shanghai during the 1930s.
Right.
Yep.
And so there's like there's technology that exists, but it also is like feudal China. And it's just I really like that aesthetic.
And of course you get that old-timey gangstery feel. Again, he drew a lot of influences from those old-timey types of things. Like I said, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, the Three Stooges, Looney Tunes cartoons. I mean, there's literally an entire Roadrunner sequence.
Oh, yeah, a Roadrunner chase
Straight up
sequence.
Roadrunner chase scene.
Right.
Of course, there was there's a scene in there referencing The Shining, very literally.
Yeah.
He turns a corner and there is an elevator gushing blood.
Yeah.
Stuff like, but even more subtle stuff. I mean, there was a Gone with the Wind reference in there.
Oh, I missed that.
There's, let me see, what else we got? Of course, I think the Looney Tunes ones are the most prevalent, though, just because of the over the top.
Right, because it's that weird, like, out of reality sort of thing. Like, I feel like her legs are literally running in circles.
They literally were.
You know what I mean? Like she's like it's that circular
the landlady.
Yeah, the landlady, and like they're running like weird side to side kind of.
The Spider-Man reference, of course, when the character Donut dies, he gets out in his last breaths. In great power lies great responsibility. And I'm like, fuck you, dude. And I wasn't even looking up. Like, that was one of the times I had my head down on my phone, and I just hear it. I'm like, oh, come on.
Come on.
Really? There was a Untouchables reference.
Oh, I love that movie.
Where, let me see, Donut gets up and grabs the landlord by the shirt, utters in English, What are you prepared to do? Which is, of course, nod to Sean Connery's character Jim Malone in the De Palma film The Untouchables, which we will have to cover on this show. It's just such a good fucking movie. But yeah, there's a lot of Godfather references.
There's a lot of references.
There's just a lot of references, which I love because it shows. It's almost like Stephen Chow is almost like a Kung Fu Tarantino in that respect.
Yeah,
where the whole movie you could just pick apart, but it's not like he's ripping off these movies. It's done with such love that it's an homage.
Well, and it's also so not in the same, like, if you were to do this movie in English with American actors, then this movie's a giant ripoff. But the fact that it's set in such a weird setting that it works.
And I love because there was a little behind the scenes thing there. So watching how they actually put together these action sequences is always so cool. One of my favorite things once I realized they were all there was and he was I won't say an innovator because they did it before, but Jackie Chan always used to leave outtakes at the end of his movies. And because he prided himself on doing all his own stunts, and his stunts were extremely dangerous and stuff.
Right.
And watching some of them, I remember, I want to say it was Super Cop, was the one where Jackie Chan was hanging off the side of a train, and he was supposed to grab on, those things that grab like the bags, like the mail bags?
Yeah.
And he was supposed to grab onto that and swing around. However, the stunt didn't work, and he literally just slammed into the pole. But because he was harnessed, he was knocked out.
Oh my God.
But because he also directed the movies, his instructions always were, don't stop rolling until I say cut.
Yeah,
and he's literally out cold on the side of a train, and they kept it in the credits of the movie.
That's so funny.
And it's a lot of that stuff because this Stephen Chow was very influenced by Bruce Lee more than Jackie Chan, but along the same lines of that, where it's just so cool to watch him set these pieces up because there's so much choreography that goes into all these scenes.
Well, it's cool because they have CG elements in this movie, like quite a lot.
Absolutely.
Quite a lot, but it's tied around very, very well choreographed martial arts.
Oh, absolutely.
Which, as a fan of the genre, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those movies that uses the CGI to enhance the movie, but doesn't look like a cartoon movie.
Right, because this might be blasphemous, but I
Go
don't
on.
think it is. I didn't really like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Feel the same exact way.
And mostly because I think, as everybody's like, oh, it's so beautiful, but it's just like, you're flying around on wires. It looks unrealistic. So the martial arts that you're actually performing isn't technically fun. Like, it's not fun to watch.
I didn't find that movie overall entertaining.
Right, and there was that.
I tried. I've one of those movies I've tried to start a number of times, and I'm just like, oh my God, this is so long.
Right. Whereas you look at something like, and I know we didn't do this, but something like on Ong Bak, where it's like,
we'll get to it.
You feel every hit
Yeah.
that he's dishing out, and it's just so much better. Every Jackie Chan movie. One thing I don't like about Jackie Chan movies is they speed up the fight sequences.
Okay.
If you look at it, it's everybody's in fast forward.
Okay.
And I find that to be very annoying. But then like a Bruce Lee movie, where it's like, those are awesome. Yeah. Those are awesome.
Side note, what I loved about one of the things I always find laughable about Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee, is that the dad from Nightmare on Elm Street is doing karate in it.
Oh, yeah.
John Saxon is doing karate. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You were old then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That whole movie, I liked it.
Wasn't Jim Kelly in that too? Who was the he did the blaxploitation karate movies.
Yeah.
Was it Kung Fu Jones or something like that?
Yeah.
Christ, I gotta find that one now. Jim Kelly. I'll probably get the Buffalo Bills goal quarterback, but
yeah, probably.
But I'll look for it anyway.
Jim Kelly. Yeah,
he was in that one. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yep, he's
I absolutely did. I fucking typed Jim Kelly, and of course I get the fucking quarterback.
Yeah, of course you did. Well, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
The funny part about that is that he just straight
Black
up...
Belt Jones, that was it.
Black Belt Jones.
Black Belt Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, there it is right there.
That goes alongside Cleopatra Jones.
Yeah. In that movie, he's just like above a pit of water.
Yeah.
And then they just drop him in, and he's dead.
He's dead.
And it's just like, were there piranhas in that pit?
You know what?
Was he dead while he was hanging there?
Ancient Chinese secret.
Yeah. Oh.
Don't ask about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So let's jump into the plot a little bit of Kung Fu Hustle. We're set in Shanghai during the 1930s. Xing and his friend Bone attempt to join the deadly Axe Gang.
Yeah.
They do so in such an odd manner, too.
Right.
They walk into this shanty town known as Pig Sty Alley.
Right.
And they go to a barber.
Yep.
And his friend Bone, who's a portly gentleman.
Yes, to say the least.
He sits down for a haircut. And Xing, who of course is played by Stephen Chow, keeps referring to Bone as his boss. His boss.
Yeah, right.
To display that he's a gangster. This is his boss. You're going to give my boss a haircut. And he gives him a haircut, and it's too stylized.
Yeah.
So he gets all pissed off, and Bone disrobes his coat.
Yep.
Revealing
2 axes.
One of the greatest moments, I would say, in that year's cinematic history is when Bone gets pissed, takes off his coat, and every ounce of him jiggles.
Yeah.
And the axes look like they're on water.
Yeah, it's just they're jiggling. Oh yeah.
Yes. So he gets all kinds of mad, but of course, the barber, along with pretty much everybody in Pig Sty Alley,
Right.
are kung fu masters.
Of course they are. They're secret kung fu masters.
I'm sorry, Pig Sty Alley. What was I saying?
You said alley.
Is that what I was saying? Okay.
Yeah, you're saying Pig Sty Alley.
Brain farts all up here. It's been a day. But yeah, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But again, not to keep stepping off, but I love how they just simplify the names.
Yeah.
Landlady, landlord, the head gangster, big boss.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
They keep it fucking simple. I mean, I don't know if Donut ate donuts. I didn't really get there. But tailor is a tailor.
Right.
Barber is a barber.
Well, he might have run the donut
He
shop.
might have actually run the donut shop in Pig Sty Alley. So they're chased off by the landlady.
Right.
Who clearly, I mean, it's the poor end of town. And it's the only part of town at the moment that the Axe Gang would not go because there's nothing to get from them.
Yeah, they can't get anything.
So why bother?
Right.
And apparently they're all kung fu masters and will fuck shit up on a dime.
Right. Right.
Like she comes, and again, just little sequences, like the kid trying to take a bath.
Right.
Right. And all of a sudden the water cuts out, and that's where we're introduced to the landlady.
Yeah.
Because he starts yelling up at her, and he's got his shampoo in his hair, and he says it's his one shampoo a month. And,
Right.
and you cut the water off, and she comes down smacking the shit out of people.
Oh yeah, she is legit. She's just very, very legit. She rules this entire block.
Yep.
And it's very fun, like when you just watch this movie and you watch the way she interacts with the rest of them, because they're these kung fu masters.
Yep.
And they're all afraid of her.
Absolutely. Well, by the way, I think her husband, landlord,
Yeah.
might be my favorite character in this movie. I
Yeah.
mean, from Jump Street, he is a creep among creeps.
Of course.
He's walking around, he's hitting on all these fucking broads. They're all way too young.
Right.
I think he goes to the tailor first, and there's a girl who's modeling dresses. And he pulls the sneaky little, ooh, what's that? And throws his head right next to her, so she gives him a kiss, and is like, oh,
Yeah.
chases her to like the showers or some weird shit.
Yeah, right.
Where his wife finds him, and I love the fact that his wife, without hesitation, whips his ass at every turn.
Oh, all the time.
Like there was one part later in the movie where you see them in the window and they're dancing in their apartment,
Right.
And then they pan across to the next window, and as they get there, she's kicking his ass.
Yeah.
Like between window to window, he
Right.
pissed her off.
Yeah, right. So we end up finding out that they Xing and Bone, the Deadly Axe Gang ends up figuring out that they're impersonating
Yes.
them,
Yes.
and so they get mad,
As you do.
and so they come in and they start fucking shit up.
They're gonna fuck this shit up.
And so then we find out that this is where Cooley, Taylor, and Donut all reveal themselves to be
Kung Fu Master.
Kung Fu
The
Masters.
tailor does it in the most epic way possible, throwing the tape measure up, knocking down the things, and getting those all
the rings.
the metal rings around his hands to block all the knives and all the axes.
Right.
Oh,
It was very cool. And so they
Awesome.
end up fighting off the
50 of them, like 50
Yeah.
Axe Gang members. Yeah.
Yeah, so they fight them all off. And so that just makes everybody so much madder.
Right.
They just are so much madder.
Great, because now everybody's going to come down.
Right.
You thought 50 Axe Gang members are
Right.
bad. Now the big boss is coming down to
Right.
play.
And so they end up having these like weird like sitar players show up.
Well, she evicts them first.
Oh yeah, she evicts.
She gets pissed and is like, get the fuck out.
That's right. Yeah, I don't want this nonsense.
No,
Get out of
you're
here.
Done. And they have it was a visually beautiful moment where they have their little sparring match on the steps,
Right.
and it's the three of them, and they're not fighting; they're just fucking around.
Yeah. Well, it's like, oh, I didn't know you were.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know you were. Oh, you are.
An
Yeah.
entire village of kung fu masters. Not one of them knew they knew kung fu.
Right.
Like, you know kung fu, I know kung fu. Oh, well, let's fuck each other up.
Right.
And then they do a little slap fight on the things, which looks great. It was choreographed great, but most of all, it ends on a great punchline when the tailor falls off the goddamn post.
Yeah.
Where they're all perched.
Yeah, and then-
now
yeah.
that they're flying kung fu thing where, whoa,
Yeah,
they
they're-
land perfectly. 3, 2, fucking falls.
Yeah, it just falls. Yeah, and so they're all preparing to leave.
Yep.
And as they're all preparing to leave, these assassins show up with sitars. And I remember watching this, and I'm like, what the hell is happening?
I mean, how much opium did these dudes smoke before
I
writing
know.
this shit?
I know, so much.
I'm
But
going to get really high and go through my Looney Tunes library, and we're going to get really weird with this movie.
yeah. And so they end up killing two
God,
of the...
that's something we should do. We should get high and watch Looney Tunes on live.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right.
You know what? Patreon show. You got to pay for us to get high. Cause,
Yeah, and you got to pay for us to get high.
Exactly.
Yeah, it should cost money.
Yeah, exactly.
So, two of the Kung Fu masters end up dying. One right away, one not right away.
Mm-hmm.
And so, basically, the landlady...
By the way, the
landlord...
two sitar guys based on the Blues Brothers.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And
One skinny, one fat, both wearing hats and glasses.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yep.
Makes sense now that you say that. So the landlords just basically are like, wholesale, everybody, you need to leave. Everybody needs to leave. This is far too crazy. This is far too...
We're going to the casino.
Yeah.
Which they literally do.
Yeah. So it's like, we can't do this. And while that's going on, right, Xing and Bone... Their whole nonsense is they're like, well, maybe we can still get into this gang.
Now, did we get to the... because, yeah, they tried.
They're trying to kill her.
And they're sent on a mission. You have to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Right.
So they picked the landlady.
Right. And they want to kill her.
And in the most slapsticky, Stooges-esque moment.
She's smoking the whole time.
And they keep stabbing each other.
Yeah.
Bone
Yes.
first Xing tries to throw on. They have like a handful of knives.
Yeah, they're trying to... That's right.
And they're standing a good 40, 50 feet away from her. Down
Right.
an alley. She's yelling at somebody. And first Xing throws a knife, tries to hit her. It ricochets around, stabs himself.
Yeah.
And Bone steps up as Xing's trying to, he's a little hurt, so he's sitting down. Bone steps up. He's got a knife. He throws it, but he literally just throws it right into Xing.
Right.
And then he tries again, gets a little closer. But as he winds up to throw, stabs Xing,
Yeah.
pulls the handle off the knife, and throws the knife, smacks the landlady right in the face.
Right. And now she's just pissed.
As you do.
Yeah, right.
That causes the Roadrunner chase.
Right. And so then that's where Xing ends up getting super, super beat up and stabbed and all that nonsense.
Oh, yeah.
So they hide out in just like a weird metal cage.
Yeah, it was very odd.
I didn't know what that was. I had to look it up, and apparently,
But this was the first inclination that Xing has powers that we didn't know he had.
right. That's correct, because he starts healing very rapidly
In the
metal
thing.
box.
Yeah.
And we've already found out that he bought like a kung fu pamphlet from like the Buddha's palm.
Yes.
From like a blind guy.
Yep.
Because he wanted to like help a little blind girl, or maybe the beggar wasn't blind, but the girl was. Was the girl blind?
Somebody was definitely blind.
Somebody was blind, and so
But he definitely learned kung fu off of a pamphlet.
And so
Want more beer.
and he totally just gets his ass kicked by these bullies because the pamphlet is hot garbage.
It's a traffic pulpit.
Oh, is that what it is?
I gotta Google what a pulpit is.
I would assume an old school,
It's a raised platform.
like where you direct traffic.
Yeah.
I would assume.
A lot of it's used for churches or chapels where the preacher will deliver its sermon, but I'm guessing in this case it's done for directing traffic. So he was dipped into that.
Okay.
But yeah, and he fucks that thing up.
Yeah,
Like
he starts.
starts-
Because he ends up like healing himself while the Axe Gang like shows up and they're like, "We're gonna murder everybody."
Now, do you believe? Okay, so here's a question that I had about the movie. Do you believe Xing always had those abilities, or while in the traffic pulpit he gained those abilities?
So I think that
because I mean, when he's healing, he's popping knives out. Like he's not just.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, why it took him so long to just take a knife out, but he actually was like he was healing, and the knives were popping out of him.
it feels like it was an awakening,
Almost like a Deadpool-esque, where it's like it just
So I feel like it was just an awakening of power
in that moment.
So
So when he was trying to kill the landlady, he didn't have those powers.
right, and now
Because that makes a hell of a lot more sense if he really wanted to join the Axe Gang and he had these powers and he knew he had these powers.
Yeah,
just go fuck her up.
Yeah, I don't think he knew he had these powers, and she kind of like unlocked them.
Gotcha.
You know, because that's the only thing that's the only
it's
way.
The only thing that makes sense.
Right. So, well, that's going on.
Yeah.
The Axe Gang is just gonna decimate the alley.
Oh, absolutely.
They're gonna destroy everything, and the Beast.
She was mute, not deaf. Blind. Jesus, mute.
Yeah. So then, basically, as that happens, the Beast, who's like the right-hand man of the head of the Axe Gang or whatever.
Well, he's a hired assassin. After the
Guitar people?
sitar players, the Blues Brothers fail. They're looking for the deadliest of deadly. They need somebody. They've beaten all of our men.
Right.
They beat these two mythical dudes who were sending,
weird
phantom horses at them through the sitar.
Yeah.
We need some badass motherfucker.
Yes.
They come upon the Beast,
Right.
who has been like, he almost is like he's laid dormant.
Yeah.
Because he's such a badass, he hasn't had to fight.
Right.
And it's almost like he's waiting for that moment. He's a killer. He
Right.
knows he's a killer.
And now he's just.
But he's just gonna sit in his hut and wait for somebody to be like, kill.
And now somebody's.
Now that time.
Right. And he like comes out for.
But it's funny because he looks like a bum.
He does.
He looks like a middle-aged bum. He's just like this Slavic dude who has busted up feet and slippers and a ratty T-shirt.
Right.
It looks like if John McClane went on his 80th mission and failed.
Right.
No, nobody gets that ratted out T-shirt reference. All right, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself. But anyway.
Yeah, and so then I think we're at the fight, right? Like the landlord.
They go to the casino.
So
the landlady and landlord reveal that. Well, the landlord. We knew the landlady had powers, but also the landlord's kind of a badass too.
Right, and so they're gonna try and fight the guy,
and they get into the whole deal with the Beast.
Right,
that's their fight, and she gets the big bell and cuts the top off the bell to use it because the landlady's superpower is she is the loudest screamer ever.
That's right.
She can suck down a cigarette in one drag and belt out a fucking wail that would make anybody jealous.
And so then Xing shows up, tries to fight, ends up getting his ass kicked again. And so maybe like that was like the start of it, and this is the thing that puts him over because they end up putting him into like a bed in their room, like all wrapped up like a mummy, right? Is that's right?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, they try to they put him in, they try to heal him. But basically, it's a transformation brought on by the Beast's attack.
Yeah, okay.
is what they're calling it. And he not only heals himself, but he reveals himself as like the ultimate motherfucking kung fu master.
Yeah, like Stephen Chow.
He goes from Xing to his own personal form of Stephen Chow, the ultimate kung fu master. But yeah, and it's an amazing climax of a fight between the Beast and Xing.
Yeah, and it was so much so that he launches him up into the air, and he like hops on a eagle, which is just so absurd.
Yep.
He's just like, and then uses the entire Buddhist palm strike that he learned from that pamphlet.
From the pamphlet actually fucking worked.
Yeah, the pamphlet worked.
And literally, not only did he smash the Beast, but literally like probably 100 feet around him, a hand imprint.
Yeah, and that was
it looked like almost like a crop circle, but if it was a hand.
That was such a really cool moment in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And in a movie that had just utter nonsense in it.
My God,
just utter nonsense. That moment builds so perfectly to that perfect absurd moment.
Right, absolutely.
And then the Beast like immediately is like, "Will you teach me?"
Well, it's one of those things where he's been beat up like he was expecting this to be an easy win.
Right.
And it wasn't. And he got his ass whipped.
Yeah.
And it's one of those moments the Beast, accepts defeat and bows in front of him, and because he doesn't know. He'd only heard of this mythical Buddhist palm.
Right.
And he bows before him and says, "Will you teach me, master?"
Yeah, and so then they open up a candy store.
Xing and Bone open a candy store.
Open a candy store in the alley.
I looked at this and I'm like, I always got a little confused. I didn't know if this was future, past, dream sequence. because you see all the characters that we've
From the
come to know,
movie.
but they're slightly altered, better versions of themselves. Like the landlady's very thin.
Yeah.
You see her and the landlord walking,
Right.
and she's very thin, and they always made fun of her in the movie for being fat.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
oh, a fat woman.
Yeah.
And even the like the dude who always had his ass hanging out.
Right.
Now he's still got his ass hanging out, so you know who he was.
Right.
But he's like suave hitting on the ladies and stuff
Right.
in the alley. But what confused me was because Xing came out and offered the lollipop to the girl who had offered it to him before, but then they transform into children.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was supposed to be, because like then we see the beggar giving a pamphlet to somebody else.
Right.
So is it like we're
I assumed that was Xing as a child, and we were looking. It was almost like he retold his own history now, and he had rolled back. He had jumped into the DeLorean. We didn't need roads for this shit. He flew back to 1932,
Right.
And now he was like, I don't need that one. I'm taking them all, bitch.
maybe
I guess.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I think it was just the Wayne's World super happy ending.
It was definitely a super happy ending.
It was just the super
It was
happy
the
ending.
super happiest of super happy endings you could ever find in a kung fu flick.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Funny fact about this movie: it was the United States version actually cut down. There was there was apparently an excessive amount of shit and blood in the original version.
Okay.
A lot of excrement jokes
Okay.
and a lot of blood. You can, however, find it. It's only available as far as U.S. is concerned, on DVD under the axe kicking version. They released a DVD called the axe kicking edition of Kung Fu Hustle, and that has the uncut version intact. Never been released on Blu-ray, not on streaming, not on any of that
Weird.
stuff. But yeah, apparently there was an excessive amount of shit jokes in it.
That's very fun. That's very fun.
It does have I spent like 2 seconds trying to listen to the commentary track, but it was all in Cantonese, and
Yeah, it's not worth it.
it's like they subtitled the commentary track.
Yeah, that's weird.
But now I'm like watching a movie, reading
there's a lot of
the bitch about it was they subtitled it, but they didn't tell you who was talking. So
so it doesn't.
I didn't get it, and it was like
Yeah.
4 people on the track.
Yeah, that's no fun.
It's like Stephen Chow and like 3 of the actors were all on it, and there's a lot.
Right.
Clearly, they were having a good time because there was a lot of laughing.
That's good, as long as they were having fun.
But yeah, it was such a fun fucking movie.
It really is.
This movie, this type of movie we got to keep doing because after the Here Comes the Boom, I was really depressed. I'm like, are we gonna go down this fucking rabbit hole of shit movies?
Yeah.
But this is the
I had a shit kung fu movie that we almost watched.
Yeah, thank you, Twitter, by the way. Thank you to all of you that voted for this movie, because this is a great, fun movie in the same vein of it could be construed as a quote-unquote bad movie.
Right.
But it's a fun movie.
It is.
And by all counts of the imagination, by box office, it's not a bad movie. It made a shitload of money.
No, it did make a shitload of money.
You know, when you pay 20, you get 102 back. You're making them monies. Let me see. Let's do a little bit of let's go down a little bit of a trivia for it. Bill Murray praised Kung Fu Hustle, saying it is the supreme achievement of the modern age in terms of comedy, and that there should have been a day of mourning for American comedy the day Kung Fu Hustle was released.
Oh, wow.
Bill Murray in GQ magazine, August 2010.
Wow, what high praise.
Right?
That seems like a lot, though. That seems like a lot.
Bill Murray knows how to get a headline.
Yeah, he does.
Sammo Hung, famous kung fu actor and director, actually directed a couple of scenes on this. He was the stunt coordinator for most of it.
Okay.
But then had to quit due to like a bunch of shit.
Okay.
Illness.
Yeah.
He literally threw every excuse you could get. Illness, contractual obligations on another movie, his dog ate his contract. I mean, it was everything. He was like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Wu Ping Young, who was one of the stunt coordinators for Kill Bill.
Oh.
So they brought him in, and he helped direct a couple of the scenes as well. There's actually 3 scenes not directed by Stephen Chow. The fight that reveals the 3 pig-style masters, that was directed by Sammo Hung. The Burly Brawl parody, which where the one fights Let me see. The one fights the 1,000 men in black suits.
Okay.
That one, along with the fight in the night, which the three masters faced the two musicians, which we talked about before. Those were directed by Yu Ping Yen.
Oh, all right.
Let's see. A little bit more trivia. Of course, Shaolin Soccer was Stephen Chow's 2001 movie. This surpassed it. It had held the record for highest-grossing Hong Kong movie, and this one surpassed it in February of 2005, becoming the highest-grossing Hong Kong-made movie.
Okay.
In Hong Kong. That sentence doesn't make sense, but I've read it twice now.
It doesn't make sense, but I guess.
Let me read it again. Fuck it. Surpassed Shaolin Soccer in 2005 to become the highest-grossing Hong Kong-made movie in Hong Kong. So,
okay, so that
locally,
so there are other movies that have came in and made more money, but they weren't made in Hong Kong.
So it was like the local hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So this movie was made in Hong Kong and the highest-grossing movie.
I want to say it was for a minute the highest-grossing foreign film here.
Maybe. Yeah,
for a minute it was the film was the all-time 10th highest-grossing foreign language film in the United States.
Okay.
As well as
what's number one?
Fuck if I know.
Oh well, I thought you were looking at a list.
Wikipedia doesn't tell me.
Oh, okay, fine. Well, I thought you were on a list.
I wish I was. I wish I had that type of info.
All right.
This is half-assed internet, not full-assed.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Okay. So that was Kung Fu Hustle.
That was Kung Fu Hustle.
What are we going to do next week?
Oh, we're gonna stick with this type of theme of fun movies that throw it back. We're doing Black Dynamite.
I am excited. I love Black Dynamite.
I do as well. Black Dynamite from the brainchild of Michael Jai White. It is. It's one of the most fun. Again, we'll stick with fun.
Fun.
I got pissed off when we did Here Comes the Boom. Let's do fucking fun movies, and Black Dynamite is just that. It's a fun movie.
Michael Jai White is the black gangster in The Dark Knight.
He is.
So we talked about him. Mm-hmm. He's the one who puts the hit out on the Joker.
He is.
And then is ultimately murdered by the Joker in the first You Want to Know How I Got These Scars sequence.
He sure is.
And he is also, for you internet YouTube people.
Go on.
He is the gentleman who plays Jax in that Mortal Kombat unauthorized, like gritty reboot that they did that was very, very popular.
Exactly.
So, and then he did Black Dynamite.
He did Black Dynamite. 2009, it was when Black Dynamite came out. It was one of those, it was the right time.
It was.
I feel that, again, Black Dynamite benefited from the Tarantino Rodriguez Grindhouse, which made that, like, that style, throwing it back, actually doing dirty Grindhouse throwback type movies, popular.
Well, because you take such a high profile director like Tarantino to show everybody what this is, so this isn't the first time you see it.
Right.
And so they did a great job. And that movie is fantastic.
Oh, it absolutely is. And
Bill, have you seen Black Dynamite?
I have not.
Oh, good. I have it on DVD. We're going to watch it.
Okay, sounds good.
It is a fun fucking movie. The reason we are doing it is this week, Michael Jai White actually finally released what some are saying is a sequel to Black Dynamite, the trailer.
Yes.
It's called The Outlaw Johnny Black.
Yeah.
And he released a trailer with an Indiegogo campaign for his company, Gigantic Productions, and they're looking to make it. And the reason I say some people are saying is kind of, here's what I believe. Here is what I believe what the Outlaw Johnny Black is going to be. What few people realize about Black Dynamite, and we'll get more into it next week when we cover Black Dynamite. Black Dynamite, okay, so people think, okay, Michael Jai White was playing Black Dynamite. No, he was not.
No, he was not. He was, I forget the character's name.
He was playing a retired Baltimore Colts football player.
Yes.
Again, the name escapes me, which we'll have it for next week. And so basically, to put it in literal terms,
he was playing O.J. Simpson.
He was playing Jim Brown, basically.
Yeah, Jim Brown.
Jim Brown or Fred Williamson. So it was Michael Jai White. We'll just insert Jim Brown here because I'll get the real name next week. Michael Jai White playing Jim Brown, playing Black Dynamite.
Right.
So I believe that the Outlaw Johnny Black is that actor's
Right.
next role.
Yes.
So whatever
Yeah.
the actor is that Michael Jai White was playing, who played Black Dynamite, this is his next role, and it looks just as great. He's using a lot of the same cast from Black Dynamite. It's in the same theme. It's that 70s blaxploitation. This one's a Western. It's just, it looks like it's going to be a fun movie, and they just opened the Indiegogo campaign. If I can find the web address, I believe it's outlawjohnnyBlackmovie.com to go to it.
That's correct.
So thank you. So next week we'll be doing Black Dynamite, and I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there, and I'm gonna start trying to utilize some of my contacts and see what I can do about getting maybe
A special guest.
yeah, maybe a special guest on the show next week.
Someone associated with Black Dynamite.
Somebody who knows Black Dynamite better than Black Dynamite.
Right.
Maybe we'll get that guy.
Maybe.
All right. So
It's definitely not going to be Dice.
No. But when we do Ford Failing, maybe we'll get Dice on.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll try.
His producers liked a couple of my Instagram posts, so there you go.
Okay. We'll
I
get there.
haven't shown him my impression yet. That might end all of talks, but
Yeah. Well, we'll try it.
But next week is Black Dynamite, so we're gonna try to get maybe a special guest on for Black Dynamite. So that's
it.
That's a quick. Is this the quickest one we've done?
This is
holy shit!
Wow.
You see what happens when we do a movie like You see what happens when Mike is drinking during the show? We move right through it.
Powered for
Focus,
that.
laser,
Yeah.
focus. That is That Movie Show. Thank you for joining us live here on twitch.tv/New Age Insiders. Pop. Boom. Got that one. Please follow the Facebook.com/That Movie Show TV. Follow myself on Twitter, Mike Wendt, Liam NAI, Bill Neville NAI. Thank you for producing, sir. And
You got it.
We will see you back next week with Black Dynamite.
I threw that shit before I came in the room.